Hey everybody, in this video we are doing chapter 1, algebra 2, section 2, word problem exercise number 18. It has to do with a cylinder. Cylinder dimensions. A right circular cylinder has a radius of 6 inches and volume of 144 pi inches cubed. What is its height? There was a figure, I just didn't include it because you might not always have a figure, so I just figured I would draw it myself. Now, a right circular cylinder is not anything wild and crazy. If you took geometry, you should be familiar with what a cylinder looks like. And basically, the right part of it is just basically saying how the two circular, the top and the bottom, will be directly above each other, and the height will make a right angle when you go from the center of one to the center of another. That line right there is going to make a right angle with the radius. Okay, so here's the radius right there. Okay, whereas like a non-right circular cylinder might be more like that right there. So the height you would find, on the outside over there. Anyhow, that's not what we're dealing with. We're just dealing with the classic cylinder that we all know and love. Now, another thing about this one is they gave us some of the information, and really we should know the volume and surface area of cylinders. If you took geometry, especially if you're in an upper level math class, it is your responsibility to know and be able to recall the appropriate formulas when necessary, okay? So I'm just going to kind of color coordinate some parts of this, but there we go. Now, the volume of a cylinder is like a lot of other prisms of this nature, will always be equal to the area of the base. When it goes the same width the whole way up, it's always going to be the area of the base multiplied by the height. So if you kind of think about it, it's sort of like area base times height, except it's three-dimensional. So it's the area of the base times the height. So what is the area of the base? Well, the base is a circle. Obviously, in my picture, it's going to look like an oval, but it's all about perspective. So area of the base times the height. I'm just really pushing this so that I could help people memorize it. If you look it up online, sometimes they'll write capital B times H, and capital B will stand for area of the base. All right. And since the radius is over here, I believe that was given in the problem. In this case, it was 6, r equals 6. But at first, I will write it just as a formula. So volume equals pi. Pi is part of the area of a circle, r squared, times height. And that part here is the height right there, right? So now, area of the base, we address that. Okay, that's what I said was the capital B. Now the problem told us what the volume was, so that means that we're going to have something to plug into a few of these spaces, right? It told us that the volume is 144 pi inches cubed and that the radius is 6 inches, and it wants us to solve for the height. So that's all we're going to do. We're just going to fill in and solve. So if I go ahead and do that, and I'll even leave the units in, I like to do that whenever, it's not too messy. 144 pi inches cubed equals pi 6 squared times h. Now, oops, I just said I was going to put the units in, and inches squared times h. All right, so now a couple things that we can do. I have 144 pi inches cubed over there. And I'm going to divide both sides by pi 6 inches quantity squared. So that means on bottom, I will have 6 squared. So for now, 6 times 6, okay? You'll see what I'm getting at in a second. Pi. And we also have inches also being squared. So I'm going to write that as inches squared. and that's going to equal H right there. Now, the reason I'm writing it as 6 times 6 is if you don't have a calculator and if the numbers are even messier than this, you might be fine dividing 144 by 36. That might be easy, but let's pretend it's not. So how do we make this better for ourselves? Well, I recognize 144 is 12 squared, right? So that means the top I have 12 times 12. I could already acknowledge the fact that pi reduces and that 2 of these inches, because that's inches times inches, reduce with 2 of the inches on top. So I'm just left with inches, right, to the first power. Now the 144 I said is 12 times 12. On bottom, I have 6 times 6, which is the height, and I have inches left. 12 over 6 is 2. 12 over 6 is 2. 2 times 2 over 1. So I have that the height is equal to 4 inches. So just a way of, less messy side work. A lot of people are just like spending way too much time doing basic arithmetic on the side. Like you got to stop asking your devices to do your calculations for you, whether a calculator or like a smarter device than that. You have to just do these things, mental math, and know certain things by heart and practice and come up with techniques so you could do them neater and more efficiently. You're opening too many tabs in your brain by doing all these side quests to finish a simple problem. Okay. So I'm showing you lots of strategies. So don't zone out just because you're like, oh, I could do this. Sure. But are you going to be as efficient, organized, and get it done? Right. So just take the advice that you can. So I hope you found this helpful. I will be uploading some more. I'm gonna just answer as many of the requests as I can right now. And there'll be a playlist on the end of the screen, and the thumbnails should show what kind of what question it is, if that helps narrow it down a little bit. And also I'm sharing them in the description box and in a spreadsheet. All right. Or not, you know what I mean, document. That's it for now. Adios.